Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anointed Lady TV, the home of news and politics. If it is your first time in this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like what we do on this channel, hit on the subscribe button. Also put on the notification bell so you'll be notified by YouTube anytime we drop a new video. And if you are returning subscribers, thank you very much for always coming back to watch our videos. On this platform, we drop videos every day and we react to every video that come our way. And on this very video, I will be watching with you. And after watching, let's go to the comment section and drop our opinion constructively. Like our videos and also share our videos if possible. See you next time in my next video.
Continue with that political civil war that's raging in Rivers State, a growing political conflagration that appears to be turning the state towards anarchy. On one side of the conflict is the former governor of Rivers State, now minister of the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja, Wike. It seems to be his style, displayed during his battle with his PDP party during the presidential campaign, never to back down from a fight, always to be a force for confrontation. But on the other side, his opponent, the incumbent governor of Rivers State, Fubara, also seeming to find strength in conflict, as Mr. Wike reportedly ordered the 27 lawmakers loyal to him to defect to the APC. Governor Fubara hit back with the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly declaring the seats of the 27 defectors vacant. And as the crisis swirled, Governor Fubara defiantly presented the 2024 state budget to just 5 members of the House of Assembly, the 5 who remain loyal to him. So every day, a new twist to this thriller of a political drama. So where does the leadership of the People's Democratic Party stand in all this? After all, the PDP is supposed to be the ruling party in Rivers State. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the lawyer and National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, or PDP, Debo Olagueba. Great to see you again.
Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming in. So you've got 27 lawmakers in Rivers State carpet crossing or defecting from the PDP and saying they now belong to the APC. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, thank you very much, Charles, for having me. And good evening, Nigeria. This, like you said, is becoming like a circus. But I need to make a correction. They're no longer 27, they're 25. Two had
yes, I understand the 2 pulled out.
They have to pull out because they recognize the futility of this venture. And this is a venture that I have christened what I call is a journey of regret, like a voyage of regret and political miscalculation.
You mean for those defectors?
Absolutely.
Right.
And so that's why you see them coming back.
Well, you've seen 2 come back.
Yeah, because they know that.
Yeah, but you've still got 25 who haven't come back.
I know, because when you get into a gate that is automatic, that is shutting at you, if you don't get away from the door will shut down. So right now, what has happened is that the seats of those that defected are vacant. That is not me saying that. That was the Constitution provides for. In Section 109, subsection 1G, the proviso there that you cannot defect to another party if you are elected on the platform of one party. Because in any event, there are no independent candidates in Nigeria.
Yeah, but the governor of Cross River State, Ben Ayade, the former governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, they both defected. So, I mean, is there anything that suggests that this is going to be different with these 27?
Let's say this, and these are the clarifications we need to make.
Right.
Constitutionally, that's one of the reasons why in this democracy, we must begin to develop it more so that people can be responsible when they are elected. For the governors, there are no provisions in the Constitution. So they can defect, as it were, and then get away with practically murder. But for a legislation, for anybody who is elected into their parliament, and you defect from the party that sponsored you, then Section 109 for the State Assembly gets you. For the House of Representatives and the Senate, Section 89 takes care of you.
Right.
So the governors have that kind of leeway. But again, if we must be a democracy that is responsible...
Well, are you sure of that interpretation? I'm not questioning your legal sort of...
I'm going to give you more...
Because you're a lawyer, but I've heard other lawyers saying, using that as an example.
Okay, well, I'll give you an example of that. In 2015, and I will crave your indulgence, the highest court in this country is the Supreme Court. And incidentally, that matter came from Ondo State, where I come from. In the case of Abegunde and Ondo State House of Assembly and others, he defected to then ACN, and of course went to court. And the Supreme Court, from the trial court to Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court, same outcome. And I crave your indulgence, just 1 minute to read the decision of the Supreme Court.
Sure.
Yeah. And it says this: the principle enunciated by the Supreme Court in the two cases of Feleko and Goni in 1983 and federal government Attorney General and Abubakar is to the effect, and this is critical, that only such factionalization, fragmentation, splintering, or division that makes it impossible or impracticable for a political party to function as such will justify a person's defection to another party and the retention of his seat. And hear this.
Right.
The division must affect the entire structure of the political party at the center. That is to say, national leadership. Otherwise, and this is key,
right,
otherwise, as rightly held by the trial court and the Court of Appeal in this case, the defector automatically, the word, automatically loses his seat.
Right. So it's not enough for there to be a crisis in Rivers State PDP.
No.
It must also be on the national level, right?
Because the Rivers State is just a part of the whole.
Right.
And so the definition of a division means at the center.
Right.
And it means at the national level. And today, PDP is one at the national level. We have National Working Committee that is united. We have the BOT that is united. We have Governor Forum that is united. And we're one. And there's no division, no factionalization.
Yeah, but they might challenge that. And I'm wondering why you've written a letter to INEC.
Yes.
But many people see that as a weak gesture. And I'm wondering why you haven't gone to court to get the courts to force action to be taken against those defectors. Right.
I'll reveal a couple of things today. We had a meeting today. Number one, this is the premise. We're a party that is systematic and detailed in our approach to things. When this happened, we immediately released a statement, of course,
right,
which you have.
Yeah, which we saw.
In which we detail all the steps.
Yeah.
But because we go by order, we then held a meeting at the end of this so that we can take a holistic approach to all of this. So today we held a meeting and we have issued a release on that statement. Number one, we have to notify INEC, which has been done. We have to demand from INEC for them to begin to prepare for the conduct of election to fill the vacancies.
So that's the process.
That's the process. Number three, we've directed the legal advisor to proceed with that process.
Okay.
But however, this is the challenge about this democracy. We have a constitution. We have the Supreme Court analyzing the details of that and clarify it. We are just a nation that is not serious about this democracy. If indeed we are, that shouldn't be an issue. When you resign, you just automatically get out because you know.
Yeah, you know what the law is.
I know what the determination is.
So it doesn't need to have to go to court.
Again, just because
that's another waste of time, judicial time.
Resources, and then trying to go ahead and not play politics as it should be, because this is democracy. If we're truly a law-abiding nation that follows the rule of law, there's a constitution. And the clarification, if any, has been made by the Supreme Court.
Right.
Why are we talking about we going to court?
I understand the point you're making.
Ideally, in a normal
and that's a good point.
We shouldn't be going to court.
But let me ask you this then, because that's an issue that we'll have to see how it sort of unfolds. But what about that which is within your control? And I mean, you're the PDP. Why is Nyesom Wike still in the PDP? How is it that he can do what he likes and lord it over the party and they seem unable or even afraid to take action against him.
Well, I like the word "seem to." That's your own. That's the way.
Well, it has to be a measured assessment.
That's the way it appears to you. But there are more issues about this. Number one, let me make a clarification. There's not one individual that is bigger than the PDP. Take that to the bank. Not one. Now, a political party, for whatever it is worth, is comprised of people with different character, different orientation, different interests, and their own persuasion. In doing that, in managing a party, what you do is to ensure that you try how you can have a consensus among these conflicting interests. And then you can come in with a consensus. Now, you recall that before the election, we had all these challenges in the party.
Orchestrated by him.
Well, orchestrated by several factors.
Ostensibly orchestrated.
By several factors.
Because he was very vocal and very public about what he was doing.
Exactly. But you see, when you do that, there might be an undue advantage when say, look, he did that. There were so many other undercurrents that, yes, maybe we'll have the conversation at some time in the future to have a total view of what happened. But I can tell you this. Let's have the kind of call a choreograph of that what happened. Number one, after the elections, then we got to the level of the tribunal. And as managers of the party, what we have, what the NWC have a duty to do, is to ensure that you stabilize the party. Even though you may be hurting because of something that happened. And what we did are indicative of managers who are sensitive and who believe that, yes, we are not managing a business where you can fire anybody to say you can get out, but we're managing interests, people with different backgrounds. So we're looking at that. And there are so many other undercurrents that, again, haven't come to fore until we have what I call a post-mortem analysis, which, of course, has begun. Certainly setting up some committees to begin to do that. Remember that I always emphasize that we believe in the rule of law, we respect God's judgments, and we try as much as possible, practically, to obey orders. There are existing orders which are still pending that even contain us from taking some certain action. However, because we believe that this is an interest of human beings of different constitutions, we need to take care of that. But to come and to imagine that it is difficult for the party to take action without prejudice. You will remember there was a time just before the election, really after the election, we had some disciplinary action taken.
Right.
And we said, look, perhaps this is not the auspicious time to do it. We reversed them. But the reversion was without prejudice to our own ability as managers of the party, in line with the Constitution, to take action that are consistent to deal with situations that are not consistent, that are not in agreement with the position.
Well, I have to be honest with you, it's sounding like a lot of verbiage. We're almost out of time. Let me ask you this. What about Governor Fubara himself? What is his status within the PDP? Because people are wondering what support the national PDP is giving to him as the governor, an incumbent PDP governor in Rivers State, as he faces the crisis.
No, Charles, I'm not going to tell you here what I have as my internal processes of having to talk to my own governor or members of our party. What I can tell you that behind the scene, not before the clear lights, is the fact that there are rapprochements behind the scene, which is important in managing human interests and situations like this. Governor Fubara is a member of the party. When you ask me about his status, membership of the party is voluntary, and you do that from your ward level, and then that's it. So it is not for me to say what is his status. He's a member of the party, hasn't said anything. But beyond all of this, I think what's important is about the interests and the people of Rivers State. Beyond what we do at the national level, I think the gladiators in Rivers State must recognize that the people have voted for good governance, not for crisis, not for chaos. And I think that should be an overriding principle. I recall that in the case of Cross River, where 22 lawmakers defected, and they still were promptly declared vacant, Justice Taiwo said something to the effect that he hoped in one day will come to a point where people would lose their seat as soon as they defect. So you don't call crisis for the people.
Right.
The people did not vote you to go and defect. They voted you on a platform, and indeed, votes are not transferable. You can't transfer the vote because you don't own it.
Okay.
So that's where we are. We have a good relationship with all our governors. We are working beneath the lights to ensure that that relationship, having regards to the interests and the well-being and the safety of the people of Rivers State.
Okay. Deborah, I want to thank you very much indeed. Always a pleasure to have you on the program. Deborah Olugwabo is a lawyer and National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you very much.